Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon. We're glad you're here with us this morning on this July the 17th, this Thursday, and on AM on EOAlive. Glad you're here. How you doing?
Morning. I'm excellent.
Did you say excellent?
Excellent. Excellent.
I thought there was an M in there. Excellent.
No,
You made up another word.
Excellent. No.
Yeah.
That'll be tomorrow.
Why? Because that's Friday?
Is that your phone going off, BC?
Yeah, apparently.
My gosh, you brand new at this? This is your first day? Do I have to write you up?
Do it, man. I think you should. Yeah, I think you should do this show by yourself for a bit.
No.
Ban me.
No. I'll pass.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I get to play in that Youth for Christ golf tournament. That'll be fun.
I know you hate golf.
I like golf. I just haven't got to do it a lot this year so far.
You know,
my foot's still a little tender. I'm kind of worried.
Well, all you have to do is just get out of the cart and hit the ball, right? Though, I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, there's not a lot of like hilly walking, but that weight transfer when you're swinging a golf club is what's got me kind of worried because I think that's how I tweaked it in the first place.
I was thinking about that this morning, that I think the last time I went golfing was a Youth for Christ scramble that I was in. And yeah, it was a negative experience for me because I felt like I was dragging everybody down. It was like just crazy.
Last year, it was me, the mayor, who's Caleb Sampson. He's the true mayor of Union County. Who else? Lowell from Knott and Justin Marler. And then this year, Justin Marler just had a baby, but he's going to play with us and Caleb. And then we have one of Caleb's friends from Idaho coming over playing for Lowell this year.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good. And did Caleb put the team together?
He does every year. Yeah. He sponsors it. It's all sponsored by his outfit out there. I'm not going to give him no extra love. No, it's Thunder RV. He's a good dude. They're good people out there. Talk about somebody that knows a lot of people, man. We were on our way back from a golf tournament one time. Yeah. And he goes, Dodzy, you toured Hot Lake recently? I said, no. I said, I ain't been out there since they reopened it. I had dinner out there one time when the guy who owned the Bronzery bought it.
Yeah.
And so we stopped on the way back from a golf tournament. And the guy that he like walks up to the door, knocks on the door. The guy that's living out there working on the place answers, "Hey, Caleb, what's up?" Caleb's got a cooler, and they bust out a couple beers, and we do a tour of the entire place.
Yeah, and what a cool play! And boy, Mike and his family. Reserve. I have to think about how to pronounce his name every time. Yeah, they're doing really well.
Yep.
It's beautiful. Well, hey,
check it out.
Look at this weather, man.
Can't beat it.
No,
cannot beat it.
No, it's gorgeous today. And here's Waves.
That's gonna get up to 83. Gabe. Nice and no rain, no nothing. We're good. Low 80s, a little bit of wind.
Yeah.
Wow. It's going to be 81 at 6 o'clock though. So
it's funny. So at 3 o'clock, he just has nice.
Yeah. Nice.
It's nice, man.
Well, I mean, look at that picture right there.
I know.
He can say whatever he wants.
Yeah. Okay. And then tomorrow.
Swagged out. Oh, of course.
Turning hot.
Tomorrow's going to be hot. We'll be done by here though. Yeah. We'll be done by the time it gets real hot because I think it starts at 9, so we'll be done like right around 1:30. Just in time for the meeting.
That's right. Good deal.
Yep.
All righty. Well, hey, this morning we have Megan Demirjian with us. Megan is our new anchor. I misspelled that yesterday in the post, but Megan is here with us, and we're going to add her. She adds some younger age and some beauty to both of us, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of pretty.
Yeah. Well, to a certain segment.
Hey, you know what my moneymaker is? These right here.
All right, those little dimple things.
Yeah, that's all you have to have. It doesn't matter.
Megan has those too. Yeah.
People pay for these, you know. That's natural.
My youngest daughter has them too. Only one out of my 3 kids got dimples, and my youngest daughter has the biggest, just blasty dimples.
Yeah. Do people really pay to have them put in? I wonder.
That's what I hear. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Yeah. Can you imagine? That'd be a little crazy.
Right.
Yeah. You show up like, give me a dimple. How much for a dimple?
Yeah. And then they put you under and they put it in the wrong spot. Like, no.
On your chin?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like, what can't they do nowadays, right?
That's right.
Well, it all started with, didn't it all start with Cindy Crawford and then everybody wanting the mole? So, like, people were getting, like, moles tattooed on their face right here.
Mm-hmm. Drawing them in with makeup. I remember that.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was watching a movie or a show the other day, and this guy, and when he hugs the person, the mole comes off on their face or on their, I mean, it was like a stick-on mole. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was that was the whole move. Well, hey, thanks for jumping in with us this morning, Megan. It's a little bit of it's a little bit of a zoo and a jungle, but we're glad that you're here with us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
You had to roll out of bed early today.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
If I got to suffer, you got to suffer.
Yeah, Doddsy, I actually have a surprise for you. So I feel like you're always asking people questions, pineapple on pizza, kind of catching people off guard. So I figured that we should kind of play around that to you this morning. So
Go ahead.
Because I have a question for you.
Sure.
What would
don't make it too hard.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try to go easy with the first one here. What would a world populated by clones of you act like?
Oh gosh, it would be.
I know. I'm scared to even imagine that. But what do you think?
Yeah. It would be clean. It would be unorganized. It would be extremely passionate. But it would also be a little bit cynical and at sometimes a little bit controlling. But I don't think it would be a horrible place. It would be, we'd probably fight a lot.
Yeah, no one would stop talking. So there's that.
That's true.
Yeah, it'd be really talkative.
That's true. It would be.
Yeah. And everybody would have to wear earmuffs because it would be so dang loud. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Not
as loud as Johnny, though. Not as loud as Johnny. Johnny's way louder.
Well, maybe that's why you are on the loud side, is because you lived with him. I
think I'm a little bit deaf in this ear over here. I cover this ear sometimes and I can't hear very well. So I would imagine
it's because of Johnny. He's a
blabbermouth.
He rattled in that ear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so next question is, what's your favorite sport to watch and why? And if it's different on the high school and college level, that's fine.
My favorite sport to watch live is baseball. I love minor league baseball is my favorite sport to watch live.
Okay.
My favorite sport to watch on TV is probably college softball. I love college softball. I love the pace of the game. Either that or college basketball, one of the two. Either or. And it's just because of the pace and I feel like college athletes have more to work for than, they don't have a contract. They're trying to either get to a bigger school if they're a smaller level school or they're trying to make it to the professional level. So I think there's more passion and more drive there.
That's a good point. I've never really thought of it that way. They're still working towards getting to the top. They're not settled yet. That's a good point. Yep. Brent, what's your favorite sport to watch?
Pool. No, I'm just kidding. Not
poker.
I probably am a football guy when it comes right down to it. I do like baseball when I know the players because of the strategy, and it's just a way more of a thinker game. I mean, that's not compared to football. It's just different. It took me a long time to figure out that baseball was entertaining because I thought it moved so slowly until I kind of figured out what was going on. So,
oh yeah, you have to know, and to truly enjoy baseball, you have to know the game. I mean, and the nuances and all the little, things that average everyday people don't know about baseball. I think is
it's the drama. Once you get the drama that's going on between the pitcher and the batter and the strategy, you know, I mean, you got a guy on base and they're trying to get him out or draw him off or, you know, whatever the case might be. That's when it gets real interesting. So,
Well,
What are they doing around here?
I don't know. Yeah. How about you, Megan?
Uh-oh.
I think her
It's having a hiccup.
Can you
What
guys
are they drilling on in here? Don't they know we have a live show going on? My goodness.
There's a thing that goes on. There's a machine somewhere in our building that runs occasionally, and it shakes all of the plumbing.
Oh, man. Yeah. Sounds like Godzilla flushed the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I've ever heard that before.
No, it comes on every once in a while.
But yeah, back to minor league baseball while we're waiting for Megan to rejoin us.
She's back.
Minor league baseball.
Can you hear me, see me?
Yep, we can.
Okay, good.
If you've never been to a minor league baseball game, I would encourage you to go. The cool thing about minor league baseball is especially like low level minor league, like short season, long season, single A. They live with host families, right? They make like $1,500 a month. They live with a host family. And at the stadium, which are generally like 4,000, 3,000 seats, the interaction with the fans is unreal. We had season tickets in Salem for the Volcanoes, and my kids would sit with me right behind the bullpen of the visiting team and the pitchers and everything, because they're minor leaguers that, you know, they're trying to get their name out. They're trying to move up. They're sitting there having banter with my kids during the game, signing baseballs, you know what I mean? And Eugene is the minor league team for the Padres. So when they were in town, we were always, I mean, right there on the visiting side because I'm a Padres fan.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I was younger, my dad did like an adult old man softball league, and we had some interesting times. He'd always drag me and my little sister. One time, someone broke in, stole the stereo in the middle of the softball game, so that was fun.
Oh, nice.
My dad got in a
beer
fight on the
leagues
field
are what
one
we
time.
call those, Megan. Beer leagues.
Okay. That's funny.
Softball used to be huge in LeGrand. Huge. I mean, we used to have a tournament here every year, Moonlight. We haven't had it in a few years, but it used to be crazy big. I mean, hundreds of people would come into town and camp down there at Pioneer Park. And there would be a big tournament, and they'd play all through the night, Friday and Saturday night, and then the championship would be Sunday.
I know. What did they call that? The snowball tournament, or was that another
Moonlight?
Moonlight. Yeah. But didn't they have one in the winter too that was kind of like that?
Maybe after I left, I never played in that one. I played in the Moonlight a few times. My best friend got his DUI at the Moonlight, moron.
There you go.
They put him on house arrest for it because he tried running. It was good for him. Now he's a flight nurse. He's super successful. He had to wear the ankle bracelet for 30 days. It was the funniest thing ever, man. We made fun of him, and
I know.
Well, back to gambling. Do you guys ever make it down to the Wild Horse? And if you do, what's your favorite casino game?
Oh gosh.
I know it's on my bucket list, going to the Wild Horse.
I've been there. I don't gamble a ton anymore. I used to like gambling. Mm-hmm. Probably blackjack. I like blackjack.
I'm not a big gambler. Yeah. I mean, I don't know enough about it. And I mean, all I know is that it's really easy to lose your money. So when we went to Vegas, we were in Vegas at Christmas time. And I think like I had the hotel that we were staying at gave us $10 each, Tanya and I, $10 each to gamble, you know? And so that was pretty much, I mean, so that it was free money. So we just gambled it away, but you know, that's pretty much
whole $10.
Well, no, 20.
Gambled it right away.
Oh, okay.
$20. Yeah. Each of us doing 10. Yeah. So yeah. And it was funny because I think we, you know, we accumulated, we were, so Tanya was doing it, or I started like, I'm losing, you know? And so I think I lost my whole 10. She got her 10 up to like about 22 or something like that. And then bombed it, you know, the next one, it was like, she lost it all. And so
you have to go in with rules in your head. If you want to be successful at gambling, you have to have you know, you have to have the limit that you're willing to spend and then when you're going to cash out. Otherwise, you'll just put it all right back into that machine.
No, it's funny because I had a friend of mine who's very analytical, and he talked about how that in the pattern of gambling, there's a point where, and there's a very much a winning pattern to it, and you just get out at a particular time. So
there must not be a winning pattern though, because there's nobody that can really say that, oh yeah, I'm a real successful gambler, unless they're betting on sports and betting based on, like, you know, historical information, because Vegas is, you know, there's only one game where you have a 50-50 chance of winning in all of Vegas, and they only have it in 4 casinos. You know what it is, Megan?
No, what is it?
It's a straight up roulette table, a roulette table with no green spots, no 0 and no 00. So most of that casinos will have a roulette wheel, which is black and red, but then they also have a couple green spots, which is 0, 00. And that gives the house the advantage on if you choose red or black, because there's 2 spots on the wheel where the house wins no matter what.
Okay.
So if you have a straight red and black wheel, you have a 50-50 shot of winning, and that's the highest percentage of any game in Vegas.
Good to know. Good to know.
The little things, right?
On my way to Vegas.
And they have one at Four Queens Casino. I know that for sure.
So how about you, Megan? Do you have
Is blackjack the one that goes to 21?
Yeah.
Okay, blackjack is the only one I kind of know how to play.
I don't see how people can sit in front of slots all day. Like, I've done it here, like at the little machines here at the bar, and it's like, man, like just hitting that button, like,
like, you know, you're going to be giving your money away at the end of the day.
Well, and the thing I don't get about that is, at least with the old mechanical ones, there was some internal function that was happening inside that machine. The decision of whether you win or lose was right there. With an electronic game, I mean, somebody could be pushing the buttons halfway around the world, and you might, okay, it's time for them to lose. I mean, there's
time for them to, they're winning too much.
Yeah, no, really. There's no way of having any confidence of knowing. I don't know. I just don't get it. I've never gotten that.
What is squad goals? Squad goals.
You know, this has been in so many different houses. It kind of just travels, but I like to think of my friend group as squad goals. We like to have fun, you know, meet people, all that.
I had a shirt that had like all the Nickelodeon characters, Ren and Stimpy, Doug, you know, and it said hashtag squad goals.
Wow.
It was a pretty cool shirt. I wore the heck out of it.
Yeah, we should bring this down to the EOAlive studio when I move out. Squad goals.
Hashtag squad goals.
That's right.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna put that on Kyle's collection right there, man.
I will. Be ready, Kyle.
I'm running out of room.
Well, back to my whole questions. I really need to know, what is your guys' biggest pet peeve?
I know Kyle's.
Oh gosh, weather. Look, I don't like cold weather, and then I don't like ignorance. Ignorance drives me nuts.
No,
when somebody chooses not to be in, you know what I mean? Like, it drives me crazy. But weather.
I was gonna say for Kyle, it's someone being late.
Oh, that too. Yeah, promptness is very important. I've been late one time.
Yeah.
And I slept through the alarm.
It was a pretty important one too.
Yeah.
That's how it always is, right?
It was the very first show. Yeah.
It was the very first one.
It was, yeah. So it's like it was like the very first show. Yeah. I mean, we had promoted the crap out of it and everything. And then 8 o'clock comes like, hey guys, it's me. I'm here by myself.
Yeah, you were by yourself.
Nice, Dodgy, nice.
I feel like kids nowadays don't have the same respect for people's time as back in the days. Like my grandfather, if you were late, if you weren't 10 minutes early, you're late. You know what I mean? And I was raised like that. And nowadays, like, I don't feel like people put as much emphasis on being on time. Like, it's just
with Zoom and everything, I noticed too, you know, people go to meetings early, show up to class early, but everyone was coming in Zoom right at 58, 59, even like the exact time. And I was like, wow, we're really just not going to be early anymore. Okay.
Right. Nobody. No,
So,
yeah. That is a good one. That is a pet peeve of mine. But I hate cold weather. I hate snow.
Yeah.
And I also, ignorance drives me crazy.
Yeah. So what
winter
do you
must be rough for you.
What do you think my pet peeve is, Kyle?
Oh gosh. Let me think.
Bad lighting.
What'd you say? Gaslighting?
Bad lighting.
Gaslighting.
Shadows are off.
I was going to say, audio.
When the overhead light is on.
More importantly, audio.
I'm pretty picky about audio, but freak. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think what I mean, pet peeve.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of. I mean, technically, I have really high expectations and I just want us to be as good as we can. So then whether it's in focus and the audio and the lighting and all of those things are important to me. But in my life, what is a pet peeve? Ignorance, not thinking people, people that just form an opinion and they haven't thought about it, or non-listening people that, I guess if I had a life pet peeve, it would be that people that stop learning, people that they're convinced that they know what they need to know and their mind's not going to be changed. That's aggravating to me.
I feel like that's more your generation and older though, BC. Like I think my generation is a little more flexible than, I feel like it's gotten a little more flexible as time's gone on. Like people are a little more accepting and more willing to learn new stuff. Like my grandparents, if I look at them, for instance, that they were set in their ways. Like my grandma only ate one kind of ketchup. And if you didn't have it, she wasn't eating it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like grandma, she was very methodical and set in her ways. And I feel like as generations, as we move along through time, we become more flexible and more open to change and learning new things.
No, and I agree. I think that's one of the reasons it bugs me is because there's a lot of folks in my generation that are not learning, and I don't get me wrong. I don't, and it's probably more of a listening thing. I don't think that everybody should adapt to every new idea that's coming along just because, somebody changes their mind. It's like, oh yeah, war is good. I mean, if that was the thing tomorrow, I was like, I'm sorry, I'm listening to you, but just because you suggested it, I'm not going to change my mind. But I think that intelligent, smart people, they learn, they investigate, they're open, they listen.
Absolutely. One of my favorite quotes, and I don't always live by it, so don't quote me on this, but I try to live by it, is seek to understand before you seek to be understood. And it's a really hard thing to do as a human. And it takes active engagement with your brain saying, I'm going to actively listen to this person and be present in the moment. You know what I mean? And a lot of us are so busy, we're thinking about other things that we don't actively engage and actively listen. And that's one of the things that I work on every day. Like I'm not perfect at it by any means, but it's important.
Well, and the thing that makes that difficult is that it's important for everyone to be understood. That is really, so if I'm in a conflict with, if I'm having a conflict with Tanya of some kind, we're having a discussion, I don't have to get my way, but I really want to be heard. That's and understood. I want someone to understand. And when I had a boss and when I was working for someone, that was important to me. Is like,
you still have a boss and you still are working for someone.
I do. But when I had an employer, it was just important, especially if I had input into the processes, I at least wanted to be heard and understood. So my
mom used to always say to have friends, you have to be a friend. And so that's how I like to live life by. Like I have to give myself and other people in order to be kind of understood and, treat people how you can treat, that whole deal.
So say that, maybe we'll wait just a minute until your internet is a little stable.
I'm having technical difficulties.
Yeah, you need to tell the neighbors to get off your Wi-Fi.
I know. Stop me right
You
now.
gotta stop sharing Wi-Fi. I know you're a college kid.
I know.
You probably all have the whole apartment complex is probably on LAN Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
How are we doing now? Video, audio, good?
Well,
Yeah. So,
Okay, good.
yeah. So
what about you? What's your
yeah,
pet peeve, Megan?
yeah.
My pet peeve. Ooh, I don't like nice people. That's my biggest pet peeve is when people kind of go in and assume things or kind of just are standoffish, not very nice. And you're like, be nice. Like, hey, how are you? What's going on? So I'd say that's my biggest pet peeve is when people kind of make you feel weird for being nice and aren't super nice themselves.
Or they assume that you want something because you're nice. That's terrible too. Like it's almost like, especially as a male in today's world, like if you're nice to a girl, for instance, they automatically assume that you're like trying to hit on them or something. It's like, no, why can't I just be nice to you? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I noticed that with my dad too. He's very like complimenting and everything. And sometimes I'm like, Dad, but I'm like, oh no, he means it in the best way. But
yes, exactly. Yeah. It's all about intention. And
exactly.
My whole thought is like, if I'm going to hit on you, I'm going to hit on you. Like I'm not, if I'm going to be nice, that's a whole different thing, but it's all often misconstrued. And that drives me crazy.
Well, and that gets even more complicated being male and older because it's like, he's
the creepy guy.
He's just being creepy. Yeah. You know, and I tell you that's a horrifying term for me, you know, because it's like, I mean, so yeah. And frankly,
you don't want to be the creeper.
No. Yeah. Frankly, it's, you know, it causes me to be totally quiet sometimes when I would want to say something nice to someone, you know, and yeah. So
sometimes I feel like we forget to think of other people as just souls. Like we're all just living in the same world, trying to just be happy and everything.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
So say that. So your pet peeve is when people assume that you being nice means that you want something.
No,
explain
that a little. Aren't nice that's my biggest pet peeve when people aren't nice.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I kind of put that in the kindness category, you know, I mean, that's like, it doesn't take any effort to be kind. And we could even say it a different way. And it's like, you know, just don't be assholes. It's not. Yeah.
You didn't drop
the basics, you know.
Yeah. Just don't be. I mean, it's and frankly, you know, I mean, I'm a believer, and you know, I'm a Christian, and I grew up in that family, you know, and stuff, and it just drives me crazy. It's like I want to have a bumper sticker. I wanted to for a long time. It says, you know, don't call yourself a Christian and be an asshole. It just doesn't work. Yeah. So
I was just going to say, we need to get you a bumper sticker that says, don't be an asshole. For the Subaru. Stick it right there.
We've officially dropped more cuss words on this show this morning than I have on my sports show in history.
Oh, God.
I did have one cuss word, though. No, I think two. I think one of the girls, Tyler, I love you, man. Tyler Garrison, Monty Garrison's son, he's a great dude. But anyways, I had I think it was Sade on the show, and I asked her like, what if there was a Hollywood movie named after you, what would it be? And I think she said the S-Bomb Show, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I gotta leave that. You know what I mean? Like if I would have like cut that out, it would have taken a big part of the show out.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully not. She just got the cutest corgi puppy, so hopefully she's not still.
She's a beast,
show with a little puppy.
That girl is a beast. My goodness.
It's really fun to watch her play for sure.
Oh, it's so fun. I like that. The sound when she hits the ball is different. It is. It's just different. And yeah. Anyways, back to whatever we were doing here.
No. All right.
Get a rabbit hole.
Those are good words to live by. Well, hey, real quick, so for those of you that don't know, we have started an evening news roundup, and it drops at 5:00 every weekday. Megan, we've been working at getting the mechanism. Megan, probably when you get done here, you'll be reading the script for that evening show.
Yes.
She does it at home, and so it's kind of a cool thing. We've tried to figure out how to do this so that she doesn't have to come into the studio. So she reads the script. Somebody else wrote the script. Alex did. And it's already there for her to read. Then she reads it, sends us the video file. We put it together, and then it comes out at 5. And that's something we're going to be expanding and doing. We have a new graphics package that's going to be coming out.
So good too.
And it's gonna look like something that we've not seen here in the Grand Ronde Valley or Eastern Oregon in the news front. And so we're very excited to have this relationship with Megan. And the other thing that's really cool, I meant to show you this yesterday, Megan, but if you program your Alexa, I have mine programmed at home, and you go into the settings and you choose EOAlive evening news as your flash briefing. Then if I say, Alexa, play my flash briefing, then it will play the latest episode of the evening news roundup. Yeah. So it is, it's very cool, but I want to just show, this is the one that was last night. We'll show this and so that people have an idea what it looks like.
Awesome. Happy Wednesday, June 16th, Eastern Oregon. I'm Megan Demirjian, and here's your evening news roundup by EOAlive, your connection to Eastern Oregon, sponsored by EO and I in Grand Ronde Hospital. According to Gabe, the EOA Weather Kit, the forecast for tomorrow calls for sunny skies with highs in the mid-80s. North winds will be sustained between 5 and 10 miles per hour and gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Overnight, skies will remain clear with lows in the low 50s. Union County Sheriff Cody Bowen sat down with Doddsy yesterday on the most recent episode of Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowen. Viewer questions were answered live. If you aren't able to join us, be sure to watch the video on demand right here on EOAlive. The Union County Board of Commissioners met today at 9 a.m. Commissioners received an update from the Joseph Branch Trail Consortium about the initiative's progress from Project Coordinator Greg Kleiner. Visit the Union County website to read minutes from the meeting. The LeGrand Cook Memorial Library Commission will meet at 4 p.m. on Thursday, June 17th. The commission will discuss the resignation of Library Director Kip Robertson, who is moving to a position in Jackson, Wyoming. Thanks, Director Robertson, for keeping LeGrand's library running during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thanks for listening to EOAlive, your connection to Eastern Oregon. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and download our app for more great local news and shows. Email your local news and events tips to news@eoalive.tv. Enjoy your day, and see you tomorrow for more daily news briefings.
Excellent.
Thought to work on the crazy eyes, but
Well,
trial and error.
just real quick on how we kind of found Megan. Through the sports show, like Megan used to work for a company that worked next door, and so I'd seen her around. And then I decided, this year, I really wanted to focus on female athletes and what they were doing. Megan was part of the cheer team, and I brought her in, and we did an interview. And I went to BC, and I was like, dude, we got to hire this girl. Like, there's just energy, you know what I mean? And that's basically how she ended up here.
And I'm so glad to be here. I think everything happens for a reason, and this has been such a great opportunity, and I've had so much fun meeting all you guys and learning about broadcast, honestly. So
well, and let me tell you, yeah, so I have a little different perspective of that. So I saw Megan in a meeting a couple of years ago, and then I saw her on your show. And then I came to you and said,
"Oh, you did not come."
I came to you and said,
"Don't
hey,
take credit for that.
We got to get connection with her." Yeah. So anyhow,
okay. Well,
but
you can take credit for it. You're the owner. You can have all the credit. I don't care. It's all you, BC.
Yeah. No, but the bottom line is that we've been trying to work on this idea, and it all centered around the right personality and having and Megan. It's someone who is willing to do the work, and the setup. And it's not, I don't know that it takes you a lot of time, but still it's a lot of effort because it happens every weekday, and so we're trying to make it simple enough that you can continue with your life. You just graduated from college.
Yes.
And so you have to fit this into everything else that you're going to be doing. And so anyhow, so we're very excited because there's so many components, there's the writing of the script, there's the part that you do, and then there's the putting it together and the graphics and so on and so forth and post-production. The original idea, both of you I don't know that you know, the original idea was to do it live. And, it could be that at some point that will, because there's just a certain electricity to live news, but it is way more complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I've had to start over a few times some mornings. So
yeah. So live, that's just not an option. So,
And fun fact, I don't know if you guys even knew this, but Logan is my neighbor.
really?
Yeah, I was
think he
driving
saying
home.
that.
Yeah, and he was outside. I was like, Logan. I was like, do you live here? And he does. So that was really cool. Like, we are literally one house away.
Oh, that's
Todd gives me credit. That's all that matters.
Well, it's and it's kind of funny because there are times that, I mean, you like buzz, you read really quickly, and there are times I think, oh, maybe that's a little too fast, but it's like, nah, people want to hear it, and they want to, that's kind of our world right now, is we want to hear it and get done, and so our goal is to kind of keep the piece around 2 minutes or something like that. The stories are going to be changing. The flavor of it will be continuing to grow. We're looking for sponsors, and we're going to be hitting the street real soon because it's a great opportunity for business. Someone to have their name there every day. We'll still represent the sponsors, our long-term main sponsors that we have, but there really is an opportunity for a business to own the Evening News Roundup, or to own 2 or 3 days of it a week or something like that, and so there's just a great branding opportunity there. So.
Yeah, and especially once we get that new package rolling, my goodness,
It's
going to be hard to turn that down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, we're very excited about that, and it's been a team effort. And you mentioned Logan. Logan is our employee who comes in and edits that every morning. So, yep. So how fun is that? Well, what has that been like? I mean, talk a little bit about Megan, about, I don't know. Have you done theater before? Have you been in plays or?
Yeah, no, I haven't done anything like this before, but I've always been interested in it. Not to bring up astrology, but I'm a Leo. So if you know anything about zodiac signs and stuff, we're the characters. Yep. So it's kind of something I've always been into, but I've always just been in sports. I've never really gotten into like theater, or I remember when I was younger, when I'd go to the mall with my family, those people that would come up and give you their card and be like, oh, call us to be, on Disney Channel. My parents were like, no, never. But I remember always wanting to do that. I'm like, please call them, Mom. She's like, no.
You don't want to be a Disney Channel girl.
True.
Things don't turn out real well for them.
Yeah. But no, I think this is really interesting, and I want to get more involved in kind of finding stories and finding what's happening in Eastern Oregon. And even if someone just sends me a DM or something of something that's happening or something they want to bring awareness about, I think it's great that we're offering this for Eastern Oregon.
I agree.
Well, and it's not, Kyle and I represent my age pretty well. Kyle represents his age pretty well. And we just, any intelligent business is going to be trying to reach a younger audience. And so it is just it's so great to have you as a contributor. As we've gotten to know you, you're way more interested than just being hired. You want to invest yourself personally. And that's just, it's just been great. So
thank you. It's been great being here.
Your attitude is always really good too. Like, you're always peppy and you bring, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just it elevates things. And we already have, before you, we already had a really good vibe in the office. It's not, I've never woke up and not wanted to come to work.
I know. I honestly didn't want to leave yesterday. I'm like, Kyle, stay. Help me carry this to the car. Let's stay.
Yeah, it's just it's that, and you fit, like it fits.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have to say, we are terribly indebted to Bree Troutman and Bob Cavanaugh for what they have done over the last 2 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they are dear friends, and I love them dearly, but they have full-time jobs. Both of them have other careers. And there are times that it was just incredibly complicated. The longer form of the news roundup, didn't really work for people's schedule as far as listening to it. Was a lot of work. We were pouring a lot of money every week into producing and making that happen. And so we've, they still are probably going to be involved in some of our longer form stories. We still want to get back to that, because that's where real meaningfulness. And if you know me, or if you get to know me, you know that I don't like fluff. I like depth. I like talking about interesting stories. It's one of the reasons why we care about EOAlive TV, is because we have the opportunity for local people to share their lives and their stories. So right now we don't have that avenue, but we're not going to quit on that. That's going to continue to develop, so that longer weekly thing will probably eventually turn into kind of like a news magazine, where maybe it'll be one story a week that will kind of go into depth. But if you know anything about television, everything that you create has to be paid for in one way or another.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's an expense. We pay Megan, we pay Logan. There's Alex who writes the script. Everybody's paid in order to do that, and so then we have to have sponsors to offset those expenses. So anyhow, there you go.
What are you saying? Really? You're saying that I don't? No, I'm just kidding.
She's biased. That's my mom.
Yeah,
I was just playing.
So you said, Megan, that you have a cousin or something that's like a Fox affiliate.
Nice.
Where
I have a distant cousin. Second cousin. I don't know how that all works. My dad's cousin's daughter, and she does Fox News. She did it in San Antonio, Texas, or Houston, Texas, and now she's back in San Diego reporting. She is. Oh, Brent, what would she be then? She goes in the field and reports live.
Yeah. So, but it's not for those people like that. It's not Fox News like Fox News. It's the Fox affiliate in the San Diego, and that's a big market. I mean, I don't know what number it is, but I'll bet it's in the 20s. I don't. Yeah. I mean, it's, so that's cool, and it's kind of funny because it was fun because as we're taking some, you and I have been taking pictures, or I've been taking pictures of you the last couple of days, and you showed me some of the pictures of her, and it's like, and it was funny because it's like, and I told you this yesterday, it's like, yeah, be sure and remember us, when you're big and you're rich. It's like, yeah, I got my start at this little TV station in Eastern Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I love that.
We have a girl that graduated from LeGrand that's a couple years younger than me that is a national news anchor, Rutabaga Shabazi. And she's on ABC 15 in Miami. And she, you remind me of her. You really do.
Thank you. One of my biggest goals in life is to be successful enough to give back to Eastern Oregon, EOAlive, because honestly, Eastern Oregon has such a big part of my heart. I've made so many connections. I've grown as a person here. It really holds a very special place in my heart. So
it's really hard not to fall in love with this place, huh?
Honestly, it really is. I love Eastern Oregon. I love the nature. I love the people. It's really great. It feels like you're in your own little world. You don't have traffic. You don't have to deal with all that. The store is like 5 minutes away. It's really nice.
Me and all my buddies that graduated, from this area, we call it the black hole because you move away, but you always get sucked back in somehow.
It's like a little LeGrand vortex, right?
Yeah, really. I know a lot of people that have tried their ventures on the west side or, California, and then all of a sudden 10 years down the road, like me, I'm a perfect example. I'm back. I mean, it's just my place, you know what I mean? And it's where I need to be.
I drove by your old house yesterday, Doddsy, or your parents' old house, yellow and red, right?
Yeah. And so you got to understand, when my parents lived there, though, they won yard of the year like every year. That yard used to be absolutely immaculate.
Oh, wow.
With roses and all kinds of stuff. They had a big pile in the front yard used to have this big mound, and it was a flower garden in it. Ooh. And my parents were meticulous about their gardening.
I feel like everyone in Oregon has the green finger. I'm kind of jealous. I kill everything. All my succulents even.
Was that yours, Kyle?
That was Megan's.
That was
okay.
definitely dodgy. Both of your guys' phones went off and mine hasn't. What is happening?
Wait a minute.
No,
yeah.
it was for some reason when my phone's muted on vibrate, the alarm still goes off, and I had an alarm set for 8:44 for today for some reason.
Honestly, sometimes I feel like you guys are worse on your phone than we are. Like when my dad came to visit for graduation, he was sitting on his TikTok, and we're all trying to tell him stories. I'm like, Dad, I'm going to take your phone away. Like, seriously.
My parents are on Facebook all the time.
Right?
They are
like,
Facebook.
Get off of it.
Oh, wow. It's ridiculous.
It's funny because recently, we had a big family gathering, and my kids are all, I have 3 of them, and they're a little older than you, Megan, but my daughter is like, Dad, okay, put the phone down. We're going to have it was funny because it was like this reverse parenting thing. I could, I was like, put your phone down, Dad. And like, well, yeah, but
Which daughter said that?
This proves that like strict parenting works. Cause I don't like to be on my phone at dinner and stuff. And I remember my parents always like, no phones at the dinner table, put that down, give me that.
Yeah.
So I guess this parenting works.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, and what is funny is I was a pretty strict parent, so the girls kind of know, and the kids knew this was kind of before the age of smartphones and so on and so forth, but still they knew that I wanted to know where they were, and wherever they were, I might show up. So, and that accountability just kind of helped.
Oh, you were the dad that I always ran from.
Yeah.
You were exactly right. Yeah. Well, and what's funny is that Kyle, who was dating Kelsey then, who they're now married. Yeah. He was the guy that ran. Kyle was a good kid, but my gosh, he was a wild soul when he was a teenager. Yeah. In fact, it was kind of funny because you were reflecting early. I know that there was an incident where Kyle was running from the cops, and the only reason he didn't get arrested is because he was faster than his friend who got tased, Yeah. And so then the joke was when Kyle started working for the sheriff's department was like, oh, you got to come in the front door this time. That was the joke.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't get tased, but I was running one time. And so I lived on Cedar, and the house was called The Pit. And it was like a college athlete house here in LeGrand. I lived with the Mahons. They played football up at EOU. And we had a big party. Cops showed up, and I was running through the back field. It was pitch black outside. And I hopped over the fence. The neighbor had a clothesline, and that did not work out in my favor at all.
Oh, my.
Yeah. It was not good. You didn't need to tase me. I tased myself.
See, that does. The most trouble I did in Wyoming would throw snowballs at cars, and that was at night. And
you're crazy.
There was lots of snow. It was bad. Yeah, but it was funny because you'd always get someone that would chase you, and I had the same thing. There was a group of us, and we were throwing, and there weren't fences in the backyard, so you could go from one yard to another, just right down the row. And I knew where this clothesline was. And apparently the buddy behind me had forgotten,
And he got whacked.
And all of a sudden I hear like, oh,
that's what happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was on his back right then and there. Yeah. There you go.
Nice. Well, I never thought I'd say this, but I think strict parenting is the way to go. Honestly.
I do too.
So
I'm pretty strict with my kids. There's no, I am also a big fan of the basket by the door. And basically everybody in the house, in the evening when you get home, you just turn your phone off and put it in the basket.
There you go.
Well, and it's kind of funny because there's a lot of, there's a group out there. There are some parents that will not let their kids go to bed with their phones because there is a ton of not positive stuff that happens on phones after kids are supposed to be asleep, and so I don't know. That's a totally different challenge. I don't know how I would handle that now, but man, you hear all the time about these 11 and 12 and 13-year-old kids that are talking to some creepy old 30-year-old guy that's halfway across the nation. Yeah. And all of that happens that all of that happens in the middle of the night when the kid should be sleeping, So
I would if I would have had one of these when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I would have gotten in a lot of trouble.
yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
You can figure out how to do anything with one of these. Anything. It's crazy. You just Google it. You could build a bomb with Google. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Well, so tell us about your plans, Megan. You just graduated.
Yes.
Kind of what's next?
So now I'm kind of looking for jobs. I am unfortunately moving back in with the parents in suburbs of Portland. Just going to work, save up enough money to move out on my own. Everything is so expensive nowadays, like housing, even like the most or the least expensive places are just, they look a little unlivable and you're still paying so much. So it's crazy, but that was a huge shock. But yeah, we're just going to kind of see what happens, see what kind of connections I can make over there and stuff. But
what suburb of Portland do they live in?
West Lynn.
Oh, they live in the rich area where all the Blazers live. All them kids in West Lynn, they all have their own like personal batting coaches, and I hated playing West Lynn. We played them a lot. Well, like because I coached middle school football and baseball for a number of years, and you go to West Lynn, their facilities are very nice. Wow. But coaching, I mean, they were always so good. Like it's like you have these 11 and 12-year-old kids that are just like machines. It's crazy.
Nice. Yeah. Well, CJ McCollum lives on the same street as my parents, and he just got married. So I'm like, when are you going to have a baby? I can babysit.
Oh, he married a doctor too. His wife is a doctor. She's actually a phenomenal human being. Yeah.
So who's CJ? I'm sorry.
He's a Blazer.
Okay. I was wondering.
Traded. What are your thoughts on that, Dodzy? Do you think
I think he should get traded. Yeah, I think Portland needs to do something. Yeah, they either need to get rid of Dame or CJ, one of the two.
Hopefully not CJ.
Yeah, he's a nerd, huh? CJ is a straight up nerd.
Loves his wine.
He'd be fun to hang out with.
He would be.
Yep.
So how did so your parents, they just moved to Portland though, not recently, right? Yeah.
They just moved there from Manhattan Beach, California. They retired, and I think they were just kind of wanting like easy living, relaxed living. Their backyard is huge now. In California, everything's like a little box. Houses are right next to each other. So they have greenery now, which is so exciting for them. Our dog has places to run around. They love it. They really do.
It's kind of funny because the more I've gotten to know you, you definitely have a California vibe. You're a California girl, but you don't think. I mean, you don't think like a California. I don't know if that you're not typical in the way that you think.
I don't fit the stereotype.
No, you don't. Yeah. Once people get to know you, it's like, your thought, and you understand. I guess I won't go into it, but you don't fit the stereotype. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
and that's a good thing for Eastern Oregon folks, because that was, as we were looking for someone to be an anchor and do this, it was like, well, we have to find people that Eastern Oregon folks can relate to. And you appreciate small town. You like this. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised a bit if you move back here sometime and raise your family here, because this is a great place to raise a family,
Well, actually, so I have family here, and that's how I even know of EOU in Eastern Oregon. And they moved from Newberry Park, California to LaGrande, Oregon to raise my little cousin. So
yeah,
there you go. Prime example.
With the California thing, when people say, "Oh, you're from California," they say when they say that to me, I say, you know what? You're just jealous, because the reality is I've lived in Oregon long enough that I'm an Oregonian, but I have the culture and the diversity of California in me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I grew up around people, I in college, I was a minority at the school I went to. You know what I mean? Like, so I think like there's that negative, nomenclature. Oh, California's taking over, but there's also certain people that add an element of diversity and culture to a place that is in desperate need of it. I mean, and because I feel like the only diversity and culture in LaGrande especially is EOU. You know what I mean? Like, really, like there's not much besides that.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I messed that up. I was trying to add the screen because I think Bennett was running down through the picture.
Oh, he was running on the weather cam?
Yeah, he was on the weather cams, and I kind of missed it. Maybe we'll have to. No, I did.
You monitor the weather cam while we're doing the show?
Well, I happen to see is like, who is that? Man. Who's that skinny dude without a shirt on running? It's like, okay,
he was running shirtless.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to get it on the screen.
Even if I was Bennett, I'd run shirtless too.
No, and it's funny because I spend a tremendous amount. Getting back to our topic, I spend a lot of time talking about economic development and what works here in La Grande and in the Grand Ronde Valley. What can we do to improve industry? I mean, all of those topics I'm like knee deep in all of the time because of my role in Main Street and so on and so forth. And the truth is that if we don't have people come in from the outside and bring their industry, their ideas and their money, and those people are going to come from California, they're going to come from other places, then we're going to be stagnant. We're not going to grow. We're not going to develop. We're not going to have jobs for our children that are being raised here. They're going to move somewhere else. And so until we do something to help create jobs for children to stay in La Grande, then we're going to continue to diminish it. So it's a little bit of I've been here in La Grande 25 years. I'm not a native, but I have an appreciation for Eastern Oregon. I grew up in a small town, Casper, Wyoming, which is a lot bigger than La Grande, double or triple the size, but still I get the value of a small town. But the double-edged sword is unless we're open to having other people join us, then we're kind of stuck in this muck where we are. So.
I'm running to get my phone charger. We're on 3%. Started with 100 at 8 a.m. and now we're at 3%. Uh-oh.
That's why it pulled you off.
I agree with that, Brent. I also think that Eastern Oregon could improve on our marketing abilities. I feel like what we need is just reminders that everything is here and the businesses are here, the restaurants are here. Just needs to be marketed.
Yeah. There's so much good that we do.
Yes.
And we just need to be able to talk about that more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's one of our visions here is, bring out the good in Eastern Oregon. Yeah. That's part of what we're doing, right? I mean, that's one of our missions.
Absolutely. Well, Kyle, while she's getting her stuff plugged in, why don't you take us through some of your daily lists?
Oh, you wanna bang that out real fast?
Yeah.
On this day, which is June 17th, in 1631, Mumtaz Mahal died, and her husband Mughal, the emperor of Shah Jahan, he spent the next 20 years building the Taj Mahal in her honor.
What year was that?
That was 1631.
Wow.
1837. Okay. On this day, Charles Goodyear obtained his first rubber patent. On this day in 1885, Statue of Liberty arrived in New York City aboard the French ship Isiri. Is that how you say that? Isiri? I think so.
I don't know.
On this day in 1988, Microsoft released MS-DOS 4.0.
I remember that. That was 88?
88.
Wow.
In 1991, they exhumed the body of 12th President of the U.S., Zach Taylor. They wanted to test how he died because they said that he died of arsenic poisoning in 1850. No evidence of that was found. So he didn't die of arsenic poisoning. In 1994, on this day, O.J. Simpson took the world on the Bronco chase. Isn't that crazy? 1994.
94. Wow.
Yeah. 1996, Howard Stern radio show premiered in Syracuse, New York on WAQX 95.7 FM. The number one song in 1991 on this day was Rush Rush by Paula Abdul. There you go. Oh, man, Paula. Hello there. And then my famous quote for the day comes from MJ, Michael Jordan, and here it is. Obstacles don't have to stop you if you run into a wall. Don't turn around and give up. figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. Michael Jordan. Yeah. I don't have to repeat it because it's up there. Yeah, that's it for today.
What's funny is that have you seen that commercial with Paula Abdul? They have a commercial of her dancing now and her dancing when she was in her 20s. And
probably exactly the same, like J-Lo.
Oh my gosh. It's like, yeah, she just looks, I mean, her face looks a little bit older, but I forget what the commercial is, but it's like, it is jaw dropping because
that's called advancements in technology, BC.
No,
it's not natural. There's some surgery going on there.
Oh, well, right. But still, it's still phenomenal that she looked, her movement when she's dancing.
She still gets down. She's in her 50s too. Same thing with J-Lo. J-Lo's 50. And she's still, she got her start on In Living Color as a fly girl. She was a dancer. And now she's a world icon, and she's like, she looks like she's 25. It's insane.
Well, and it's kind of, it's funny because I'm good friends with Becky Thompson, Becky's Dance, and
my sister danced for her for like 15 years.
Yep. And Becky is in her mid 60s. She might be older now, but when you watch her dance, I saw she's opening her studios right now. She had, she'd had them all closed during COVID and stuff. But the other day I saw a picture she posted, and she's like, she had her leg up on the bar, and said, "Hey, we're open again." And I'm like, holy crap. It just, I don't know. It's just,
it's quite phenomenal.
It really is. Well, I think Meg is trying to get back in, but I think her computer died and so on and so forth. But
let's roll it out. Let's get out of here.
Hey, thank you guys for watching.
Appreciate you. Tune in to the Evening News Roundup at 5:00 on Monday through Friday.
Yep.
Weather on Friday, sports show Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30. Yep. And then EOAlive, AM on EOAlive at 8:00 on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. And let me just real quick. So we have this app. And if you download the app, one of the things is video. And then one of the things is Evening News Roundup. And it will play. There's all of our recent videos. This show will be on that tab. It's just check out the app.
There's also podcast right there too.
Yep.
You just hit podcast. It takes you directly to Spotify and our content.
Yep. So there's just a number of ways, and I'm just telling you, there's a lot of background work going on. We're very excited about where EOAlive is going, and we appreciate what you guys do to support us. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you Tuesday.